IAE Show Episode 3. This is the final part which focuses on master modes or flight modes in general. Some players have loved this change to the flight module, while others have disliked it to say the least. The changes were rather altering towards combat and brutal towards lighter ships. The flight module right now offers us two different flight modes, with specific strengths and use case scenarios. It was not fully intended to remain in its current state, but rather adapted to the changes and balances properly. Some of the goals planned are removing certain restrictions between the two flight modes, like making the standard ship control mode speed the default flight speed between the modes, while also adding in crafting tiers of ships which can specialize to focus on specific stats like speed. The nav flight mode is considered to be not in the most ideal state at the moment, as we often need to fly from one space marker or location to another and another before we can finally start flying towards our final destination. This is exactly where the quantum boost will serve as an ideal travel option to move shorter distances faster. It is not the same as quantum travel, which is our current flight option, but rather connects our flight speeds to the quantum travel to traverse short distances, like moving 100 kilometers or exploring around the planet in a fast speed. It will not have the same speed as the quantum travel, but rather 10% of it or so. And this will make it simpler to traverse planets and locations of interest, which often are far from any kind of markers. We will be able to adjust it as far as I understood, and it will start from the maximum nav mode speed and move up to 10% of the quantum speed. We still won't be able to have quantum drive and travel enabled alongside our shields. They did mention the operation mode of a flight will be default, but we will be able to customize it to an extent, while also the option to sacrifice your shields for a quick boost to catch up and use your weapons right away. There will be some presets for this, but I would say we have to wait on more information regarding it. What somewhat concerns me is the best crafted ships from their own examples being able to reach near maximum nav mode speed in combat. They do want the default level of ships as they start out to be easier for the players to manage and specialize, while focusing on their preferred strengths of ships, and eventually it to grow harder to manage and specialize in. The overall idea seems very nice, to give us a lot of choices so we can focus on specific strengths for our ship, and equally for players who do not wish to partake in combat to be able to get the same types of ships on the same level, preferably by trade. The choices for your preferred ship playstyle customization is very nice. But the speed example of tier 1 ship, moving around 3 to 400 meters per second, compared to a tier 5 specialized on speed, moving around 1000 meters per second or perhaps more. If this is the case, I do hope there will be at least some kind of a trade-off. While equally, I could imagine slower, more durable combat focused ships to be more ideal for fleet engagements, because the precision targeting of faster ships might not be ideal for fleet combat. I am not certain if this will be good or bad, as there will be totally different focuses for different styles of gameplay, like duels, fleet battles, ground assaults and everything else we have. A dueling ship focusing on speed might be very average in fleet engagements, or perhaps even weak, while heavier ships will be more accustomed to surviving fire from powerful weapons of capital ships, thus keeping themselves in the fight for longer. There are so many ways this can go, perhaps even a full-on tank of a light fighter. This was most regarding the flight modes, but we did also get some bits and pieces of information at the end, where a developer answered questions for 2 minutes. So one of the main takeaways from that was the Corsair's nerf, and the reasoning for it was that the ship was getting 40% of the kills, while also stating that this won't remain its final form. Perhaps even a well-known hint that the Drake Ironclad and possibly another ship that is being worked on, which is supposed to be some new variant of the last year's ships teasers ships. Very possible it is just another variant of the Hornet Mark II, or equally, perhaps Mirai Guardian will be released and there will be another variant of that. There was also mentioned a Squadron 42 exclusive Hornet ship, the F7X, which might come to the worst at some day, but these were the bits and pieces of information I considered the most important. I highly suggest watching that video, and I'll also leave a link down below. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.